led led the new branding of that organization to Discover Ames. He also serves as board president for the Iowa Travel Industry Partners, the state tourism organization. And this is what he wrote. He's married to Patty Neubauer, and they enjoy spending time with their 8 grandchildren. No mention of children, just their grandchildren. So, Kevin.
Thank you, Tammy. Yeah, we spent a lot of time with the grandkids. Our kids, we spend enough time with them, right? So, thank you for that introduction. And thanks, Tammy, for inviting me to give you an update on the Ames Event Center and the LINC. I'm going to share my screen.
We got
Are we
it.
seeing?
Yep, we
Okay,
can see
great.
it now.
Great. So before I get into this, just for most people know about Discover Ames and who I am, as Tammy just said, but I did want to give just a brief update on or just overview of who we are and what our mission is. So as Discover Ames, our main focus is to promote Ames and Iowa State University to attract groups and enhance visitor experience. And we really do that through 5 different ways. One is our number one goal is to be a marketing leader. We are the leader for marketing and promotion of the Ames area and Iowa State University as a destination. We do that by creating a visitor guide. We have a website that gets tens of thousands of people attracted to it on a monthly basis. And our marketing efforts don't just stop there, also through social media and other outlets as well. We also do business development, which really means we're attracting groups and visitors, conferences to come to Ames and Iowa State University. So with a concert like this weekend, we're very actively involved in that to make sure that our visitors are welcomed. We also, one of our goals is in community engagement. And community engagement is a variety of things, from working with our local partners like our hotels and attractions and area restaurants, to also working with educating the residents of the value that we bring to the community. And then we also have our fourth is university relationship. Obviously, without Iowa State, we would not be as successful as we are by the events that we're able to host on university facilities and working with admissions office, enhancing their experience with prospective students and those kind of things. And then last one that we just most recently added is placemaking to support development in Ames and at Iowa State University that helps our venues and attracts visitors to Ames and to Iowa State University. So that kind of in a nutshell is who we are. I have this first slide, this then and now of downtown, because this goes to placemaking. And if you look at the slide that's on the left-hand side of downtown, that's about from the 1950s. The big difference between that one and the slide on the right is really the rail yard behind Main Street to the south of Main Street is now parking versus a rail yard. But really, other than that, there's no difference in our downtown. And we've had other development around Ames, but not really in the heart of downtown. And that's where this project of the LINC is really going to be transformational to downtown and all of Ames. As we look at the site for the LINC, for those of you that aren't familiar with it, this is a shot of the south side of the railroad tracks. So kind of between the railroad tracks and Lincoln Way. Then east and west is Clark, where Starbucks was moved to, and then Kellogg, which is the main drag going to downtown. So that's kind of the footprint of the LINC. And Hunsaker Development and Chuck Winkleblack, one of their their lead developer, had started this project of purchasing this land and these businesses in 2018. And things were moving along pretty good. And then this thing called COVID hit, which really kind of put this on a screeching halt and took a while to get things back on track. And this site is only 5 acres, so it's not super big. But why is this going to be catalytic to downtown and to all of Ames is the fact that this parcel of land is going to include roughly 300 residential units. So that's some apartments, some condos. It's also going to include retail and office space in it. And also, it's always been planned to have a hotel on this site as well. But most recently, the idea of adding an event center to this site is relatively new. We've always been talking about having some kind of event space, but really, when it comes down to it, Ames is lacking in event space. So as we look at this site that's not very big to put in all of those pieces, but I want to talk about the event space a little bit on just kind of what we are looking to include in this event space. So the Ames Event Center is roughly going to be about 32,000 square feet. And that may not mean much to people, but what that equates to is about a 10,000 square foot ballroom. And what a 10,000 square foot ballroom looks like is something that would hold between 800 and 1,000 people in a banquet setting with a stage and those kind of amenities around a ballroom. It will also have breakout rooms because if any of you have attended a conference before where you have a main keynote speaker, but then there's breakout sessions, different speakers that talk into smaller settings, then we're going to have about 4 to 6 rooms, additional rooms of breakout space, and then a large lobby that can accommodate vendors, a registration, and just a large pre-function space, as we call it. And the hotel, which would be attached to this, is roughly between 150 to 200 rooms, an upscale hotel, which Ames does not have. An upscale hotel is really a luxury hotel that would have valet and have a lot of amenities that our current properties don't have, restaurant, bar, and potentially some additional meeting space in that as well. So as we talk about this event space, and this is a rendering that is kind of on the right side these are very generic images right now. We don't know if this is exactly what it's going to look like, but just to give people an idea, the image on the right would be the hotel, the image on the left and in the background are more apartments or living units of some kind, and where the event center is in between those 3 buildings. So that really it's hard to give a good screenshot of what that might look like with the actual event center. But I want to talk a little bit about why that is so important to Ames. You say, well, you might say we've got the Memorial Union, and that has a lot of bigger space. You've got Gateway, which has just gone through a renovation, $3 million renovation, done a great job out there renovating that space, but they didn't enlarge it at all. And that can accommodate about 400 people in a banquet setting, as we call it, a banquet setting. You've got Sheeman and the Iowa State Center, but really don't have a large meeting space for large banquets. So some of the events that we currently don't host are like the Cardinal and Gold Gala, which some of you probably attend down at Prairie Meadows. That's hosted by the Alumni Association, a large Iowa State event that we can't even accommodate here in Ames. But another example of what we are missing out on by not having additional event space is an event that my staff was at just last week. It's called the Iowa Rural Summit. It has been traditionally in Ames, has about 400 attendees, 25 vendors, and that event had to move to Dubuque this year because we don't have a space large enough to accommodate it. And that 2.5 day event, even though it has 400 people, is an economic impact loss to Ames of about $225,000. That's people staying in the hotel, shopping, that's eating in the restaurants, potentially visiting some of our attractions, Ryman Gardens or University Museums. That's a significant loss. But that's just one event. And another example is an event that we haven't been able to host. I don't know if we've ever hosted it, is the Iowa League of Cities. This is an event that is for city leaders, mayors, city council, city manager, city staff, and it has about 850 attendees. And I remember when Mayor Hala, who spoke here at Rotary just a few weeks ago, when he was the president of that organization, the Iowa League of Cities, he called me and he goes, Kevin, is there any chance we could host this? And I said, John, unfortunately, there isn't. We don't have a space large enough to accommodate 850 attendees. And that event, it's a 2.5 day event, is this year, I believe it's in Coralville. That's about just shy of a $500,000 loss in revenue to Ames by not being able to host that event. So when you start adding up all the events that we can't host, that's a significant economic loss to this community. So that's why this event center is so crucial. There have been about 5 feasibility studies that have been done since Discover Ames has been in existence. And every one of those feasibility studies has said Ames needs more event space. And 4 of those 5 have always been looking at the university as a way to solve this problem. Because obviously we know the university events are also looking for space. There's another event that's called Shade Tree Short Course that's hosted by the horticulture department. It's been in Ames for years. And unfortunately, they're going to have to go to Ankeny next year. It's been in Ames for over 40 years, I believe. And it's going to Ankeny for the first time next year because of the scheduling at Sheeman to be able to accommodate that event along with the athletic schedules. So there's a number of factors that play into our ability to attract groups. So as we look at kind of what we want as part of this venue, we're looking at this event space would be something that can not only be used for external groups, but also for community groups as well. There's a lot of galas that have to work around schedules with either the gateway schedule because of their space. If they have it rented out, it's hard to rent it out. You can't rent it out to somebody else. And this space would be something that would be able to accommodate multiple groups on at the same time. This is a rendering. Again, these are just renderings of just what the entrance to the event center will potentially look like within a large lobby or pre-function space, as I mentioned before. This would be used for vendors and registration, but it also would be used as an entrance into the hotel. So we're looking at it. It's almost seamless from one venue to the next between the hotel and the event center. And then, as I mentioned, we're also looking at a space that can accommodate up to 1,000 people in a banquet setting. This would really be a game changer for us and for the community. So as we look back at that slide, I'm gonna jump back here. I think I do. Yeah, no way I won't. So back to the slide that showed just the outline of the LINC development. I mentioned Chuck Winkleblack, and they have come to the decision that having this event center as part of the LINC development is uh, transformational, not only for the LINC development, but for all of Ames, because they know that the growth will extend beyond that footprint of just those 5 acres. And so they have decided that they are donating the land for the event center within the LINC to uh, to us to build the event center. That's a significant contribution of a 5 acre parcel of land to add a 32,000 square foot space into this development. So we're extremely appreciative of that. And we are right now in our capital campaign silent phase right now. We have naming rights, we have philanthropy opportunities, and we have several asks that are out and going out currently to generate the revenue that's needed for this facility. The actual cost of the event center, we're still waiting on final numbers, but we've been working off a $25 million number that was presented to us very early based on the square footage. We feel that that's a very high number and that it'll probably be less than that, or at least we're hoping so. But 25 million is our target, and that's what we're hoping that we'll be able to raise from a philanthropy standpoint. But then we will also be making an ask of the city and the county for a financial contribution to this venue. Because there are, obviously, as I talk about the economic impact, there's definitely benefits to the county and the city to contribute to this based on the amount of revenue that this is going to bring into the community. So this is an illustration of what that economic impact looks like for the first 10 years. Just the construction impact with we're hoping to use as much local labor and contractors, subcontractors as possible. And that's roughly a $15 million impact in the community. The labor economic impact of those that will be working in the event center, and then the operations, the revenue that brings in from a food and beverage and rental standpoint. And then lastly, our visitor economic impact, which is the largest number on there of $455 million for the first 10 years. That's based on the number of events that we know that we have the ability to attract and to bring into Ames, and the amount of dollars that they will spend while they're in town. So those are huge impact numbers into this community. The other thing that I've mentioned a number of times about how this will be transformative and catalytic to downtown is that we have always talked about having a pedestrian bridge connecting this side, this development to Main Street going over the railroad tracks. That is still part of the plan. This will be done in stages, so the hotel and event center will be the first two things built prior to anything else. But as we talk with our event planners, people that we have that are already hosting events here or that we are trying to attract here, that they're looking for an event space that has walkability. That's a big part of where conferences want to be located. They don't want to get in a shuttle bus to have to go somewhere else to experience nightlife or to actually go to the conference center itself from the hotel. They want to be able to have everything in one area that they can walk to, that has retail, that has restaurants, nightlife, night entertainment, those kind of things. And those are all significant to the growth of downtown. Several months ago, I guess it was about a year ago now, I was at uh, a local election forum where we had the mayor and three city council members that were asked a question. What would you like to see? What's the one big thing you would like to see in Ames? And three of the four said they would like to see growth of downtown. And this event center, this development of the LINC is doing just that, growth to downtown. By adding 300 people living downtown, the amount of foot traffic that creates downtown to support those businesses and restaurant, and the added retail that this development will add, because it will add a number of restaurants and other retail businesses as well. And then you add in office space within this development, and you've got people working downtown, want to live downtown. It is truly transformative. Lastly, before I open it up for questions, one of the questions I know that generally is asked is, how does this fit in with SciTown? And as I've spoken with Rick Sanders with the Research Park, who is heavily involved with SciTown, I've spoken with Jamie Pollard and his staff numerous times, and Jamie used to serve on our board. We are very, very supportive of SciTown. And I know that they've told me just a week ago that they are planning to start construction on that here at the end of this month. That means within the next several weeks on SciTown. And that is a project that will also be transformative for the community. It's, as Jamie has always said, it's real estate, prime real estate for Iowa State that we've been parking cars on. And if I think they have solved the parking situation by creating some additional parking areas. But this development with SciTown is going to be great, because it will also add a hotel, add retail, restaurants. It'll have people living down there, and it will be great for those that are coming for like a concert. With the new amphitheater, it'll add a new destination for us to be able to market and to promote, as they will be bringing in additional entertainment to be in that space as well. So it's a great, great asset that we're adding to Ames. But with the LINC and its attachment to downtown and connectivity to downtown is additive even to SciTown. So can we support another hotel? Absolutely, if it's attached to event space. The event space that we're talking about at the LINC will generate enough events to have spillover into the other hotels of roughly 20,000 room nights a year. So that's significant. It's not like we're building event space just for this hotel. It will obviously fill this hotel, but it will expand out to the other hotels as well. But, SciTown and the LINC are really only a mile apart. So there is enough visitors that will be coming to the community and the growth of Ames to support both of the developments. So we're really excited about SciTown and where that is heading, and we're excited about this as well. There is an event that we have. Well, I mentioned earlier that Iowa League of Cities event. We actually have put in a proposal to an RFP for the LINC development for 2030 and 2031. We haven't even broken ground, but we are working that far in advance to try to attract groups. And they are very, very interested in coming to Ames in 2030 or 2031. So we know that we're going to have those type of events coming in and others that will support the development. So with that, I'm going to just open it up to questions.
There is one, I don't think you answered it. There is one from Louis. Is the subway to the main street too expensive?
A subway to the main street.
I mean like a train, like a train. Public transportation is what I'm assuming. I don't think he's talking about Subway the restaurant, though you can ask him, Louis can.
Right.
The old dinky, like the old dinky.
So actually, Melissa Mushik from my office was in Leadership Ames last year, and one of their projects, actually 2 years ago, their project was to resurrect the Dinky, and that they did a lot of groundwork for that to look at what is the possibility of resurrecting a shuttle, a trolley of some kind to connect downtown to campus. And there's a real possibility, particularly with SciTown and the LINC, that this is something that will, I think, be needed and something that we can offer, and we as Discover Ames will be supporting to make the experience for our visitors as best as it can possibly be. And if that means providing something, transportation back and forth, I think it's something that has some real possibilities.
My question was a walkway instead of a overhead, a path
Oh,
over the
yeah.
railroad tracks.
Yeah. So, Louis, we're still talking about a pedestrian bridge going over the railroad tracks.
What about under?
So, not under. That would be really expensive.
Okay.
We have had some discussions already with the railroad, and they're open to it. There's some logistical issues that have to be worked out going over with moving some of the power lines that are along the railroad tracks, but nothing that's insurmountable. We've talked about the new potential parking ramp that will be on the north side of the tracks, right behind Wells Fargo Bank. The city just received a $500,000 grant for a feasibility study for that parking ramp, and we're hoping that the pedestrian bridge going from the LINC to downtown would actually connect to that parking structure as well. So a lot yet to be decided on that piece. Our initial focus has been on the event center and the hotel, because once we establish where those locations are of those things, then everything else can be put together around it.
All right, and Warren had kind of a follow-up message to that would be that describe the arrangements for parking at the LINC for the events beyond what you just talked about, perhaps connecting to that ramp.
Right. So parking is always going to be an issue for any development, even if it's out in the middle of nowhere. We have looked at a number of different thoughts on parking for this entire development. Some was underground. And believe it or not, if you go underground with a parking structure, it costs $55,000 per stall. That is astronomical. So a lot of what we've been looking at is pedestal parking, where it's parking at ground level and the structures are built above it. We will have a number of parking structures within the LINC development. There will be one that is designated for the event center and hotel. Still, the size of that is still being determined because my feeling is if we do have a parking structure on the north side of the tracks, I was hoping that we would be able to utilize some of that for overflow, but the majority of it would need to be adjacent to the event space. But we are looking at having over 900 parking spots within the LINC development as of the last renderings that I saw. So significant amount of parking within the site. but parking is very expensive.
There's a question, when would construction on the LINC begin? Would construction begin after all revenue is collected?
No. So our hope is that yet this year that some of the infrastructure will be underway before the end of this calendar year, with then by next spring to begin the construction of the event center and the hotel. We are hopeful that between our fundraising efforts, commitments that we're hopefully able to secure from the city and the county. We also have a number of grants that we will be applying for. One of them is through Iowa Economic Development Authority that's specific to destinations. It's a grant that the legislature passed a number of years ago that has dollars sitting there for attractions or destination enhancement. And the event center certainly falls within that criteria. And we've had a number of conversations with IEDA about that particular grant, and they're waiting for us to apply. Unfortunately, we have to have 65% of our fundraising commitments before we can apply, but we're hoping to do that by the end of the year. So we will have some additional ongoing sources that we'll be pursuing. But we know that we've got some financial institutions that are willing to fund the project once we have those commitments in place. We do know that even like with some of the naming rights or some of our philanthropy efforts will be over a number of years. And as long as we have a commitment of X amount of dollars over 10 years, financial institutions are looking at that as guaranteed revenue. So you're able to pay those notes back. So construction is hopefully going to start by next spring. By this time, hopefully we'll be seeing something out of the ground.
There's a question from Jamie, and I'm going to add to it. He's asking if you have a hotel builder group yet. I'm going to add, why are we doing this event center separate from a hotel? Can you not get a hotel group to do the event center? And then also, who would own the event center?
Good question. So there's actually three questions there. So first off, most major event centers across the state of Iowa, and I would probably guess across the country, are owned by municipalities or counties. So like the Casey Center, formerly known as Wells Fargo Arena, or the Iowa Event Center, Hy-Vee Hall, all of those venues are owned by Polk County. In Dubuque, the Grand River Center, that's owned by the city. Most event spaces are owned by the municipalities. The reason is because these event centers don't make money. They generate revenue for the community. They bring in a lot of dollars to the community, but the event center itself is hopefully a break-even proposition. Its potential, there are some event centers that we know they lose money on an annual basis, and they're supported through hotel motel tax or through other contributions because they know that the city is still generating sales tax, which offsets our property tax, and it's generating revenue for our businesses and the rest of the community. As far as a hotelier, we have been working with Marriott primarily. Marriott does not build their own hotels, but that's the flag that we are going after is a Marriott property, an upscale property. We have another hotelier that is very interested and would like to do it, but we really like the Marriott model. But we currently are talking with a number of hotel developers that would be the ones actually building the hotel with the flag being a Marriott flag. So, for instance, a good example would be like the Spring Hill, which is the hotel that's on South 16th Street, just past Menards, over by the new Olive Garden. That's owned by Kinseth Hotels. They're actually out of North Liberty or Coralville, I believe, but they own hotels all over the Midwest, including 3 other hotels in Ames. They built that property and they manage that property, but it is actually a Spring Hill as a Marriott brand. And so then the last question is that Allison asked was who will actually own this? So there's a potential of a number of different ways that this could go. With a recent court ruling that just happened down in Waukee, a nonprofit could own this facility, or the city could own it, or the county could own it. Those are kind of the 3 models that we're looking at. There's pros and cons to all of them. You know, we feel that we've got a good enough research from the other communities and municipalities to help us in structuring how that would look.
Perfect. A last question that's been submitted. We had a bond vote a few years back for a flat space that didn't go anywhere. Do you feel like this can avoid a vote?
Yes, we're hopeful that this would not go to a bond referendum. If we can show that there's guaranteed revenue to pay back any bonds that the city would have to take out, or the county, it would not have to go to a bond referendum, at least on the city side. We don't feel that that's in our best interest based on the Healthy Living Center and the way that that bond referendum didn't go very well. The last referendum that was done for an event center at the Iowa State Center did not go very well. That's why this philanthropy piece is really important to us, with naming rights and potential corporate sponsorships in this. That's a way to help us in offsetting that need to have to go to a bond referendum.
All right, that is the last of the so far submitted questions. Anyone else have?
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate the time. We're really excited about this project, and you'll hear more about it as we solidify more and more of the details. So thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate that information. That's pretty exciting news for Ames. If this can get going next year, that'd be awesome. We've got a video now from the scholarship committee. Cinean and that group had put together. It's about a 10-minute video here.
Well, actually, we are not going to show the first couple of minutes. We're going to get right into the middle of it. But Cinean, do you have any comments you would like to make before I start it?
Yes. For past 2 years, we excuse me, the response from the applicants were very encouraging. Normally around this time we receive 10, 12 submissions, but this year it's been slow. So far we have 3 submissions of applications. So I hope the club get well informed and pass the words around the community to encourage application for the senior graduating seniors from the 2 local high schools and from the homeschooling community.
All right. I'm going to hit play. I hope you hear music. Hope you hear the
The audio didn't seem
No,
to.
you're not hearing anything, are you?
Mhm.
Still no sound.
Yeah, I'm working on it. I've done everything the internet tells me to do.
There's subscripts.
For those that can read lips, does someone want to subtitle it?
It is subtitled.
Well, audio title it then.
Somebody wants to read it? Yeah. I'm sorry. I just am not sure what.
Want to try the old restart it method?
Oh, I've done this. I messed with this for an hour this morning and I just.
Oh,
So if you're not hearing it, I apologize. I don't know. I've been Googling all morning trying to figure it out.
Allison,
But
we
I,
have subtitle that helps a little bit.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Well, and you've attached the link, or you're going to attach the link, right, to the full video,
Yes.
so people can watch it
Yep.
on their own as well.
Yep, it was in your weekly email. It says jot form and you can go from there to see the entire video. It works when I'm not sharing, but
Who's the audience?
say that again, Carol.
Who's the audience for this video?
Us, all of us.
Oh, just
Yeah.
us, the
No,
club members.
the
Okay.
video, the promo video is the beginning, is attached to the application. And at the very beginning of the application, to all applicants. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay.
included in the application link.
Okay.
yeah. So if you can share the link with any seniors that you know that would be eligible to apply, they'll the first thing that they see when they apply is they watch the video and then they go from there.
Is there an
see.
estimated amount for each of the scholarships, or does it depend on
The
their need?
minimum amount is 1,000.
Cindy, and how many have we received so far? Do you have that number?
This year so far, 3 applications. And in the past 2 years, around this time, we receive 10, 12 submissions.
And the applications are like hard copies are at both offices, correct? Like both high school offices?
The application is online. Everything's online by JotForm, which is a very powerful online survey platform. And it's been working very well for past 2 years.
Any
If you-
other
and-
questions out there?
Yeah, I need more questions, just email me. And we have postponed the deadline for application till May 1st. That's the time the entering the freshmen have to commit to their respective institutions.
And also, it should be noted that this scholarship is between both the morning club and our club. So it's a joint effort by both Rotary clubs.
Perfect. Well, thanks for all the work you've done with that, Cinnamon, and the committee. And hopefully we can get some more seniors, graduating seniors, to get applications in and help get them started in their collegiate careers. So yeah, anything more with that?
Do the guidance counselors know that we're lacking applications this year? They could maybe help encourage students.
Yeah, that's a good point, Carol. That would be a good reach out to the guidance counselors, and they do probably talk to students every week, about things to help them pay for the next step. So that's a great point. There was another chat I think I saw.
And the link is in the email that went out this morning. It was also in the one that went last Thursday or Friday, and it is on our homepage. And it says Ames Rotary accepting applications. So you can send people to our rotaryclubofames.org, and they should see it right there.
Perfect. Well, seeing no further questions, I think I'll go ahead and close the meeting out. Let's go ahead and go through our four-way test of the things we think say. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you, everyone. Thank you again, Kevin, for sharing. Appreciate that a lot. And Cinnamon, thank you for the committee report. Yeah, everybody have a great week, and we'll see you next week in person.